Oh, wow. I don't know about you, but this wind is terrible.
It was
Yeah, it is.
no more testing today.
Oh, my God.
Hi, Chief. Hi, Nick. Hi, Ralph.
Hi, Ira. How are you?
Oh, we're hanging in there.
Chief, is Sergeant Giannino with you?
Yes, I have Sergeant Giannino with me.
Okay,
Lucky you.
he's
Just
key.
having a
We're
little
sorry.
program, problem. I just have a very small.
Okay.
So I apologize if I'm a little out in left field. I'm just trying to adjust it. We're having some issues.
You want to hear it anyways.
Chief, any trees down yet?
Not yet. I haven't heard yet.
Okay,
But it won't surprise me. I think we're going to have a different few hours.
it's already started. Oh.
And Paul, just so you know, I got several constituents on regarding Standish Road.
And I have a constituent on from Bellingham Ave too.
Oh, I had a problem.
Hey, Sergeant Giannino, did you get my emails today?
Justin, no, not yet. I haven't been in the office checking yet. I did
Yeah.
the general and back out.
Council,
Yeah.
he hasn't been in the office. He's been out all day. He's here now.
Okay, well, I sent them some emails on,
Counselor, I think we lost your audio for a moment.
So I was just waiting a couple of minutes for Chief Bright. I'll wait another minute, then we can get started. Okay, I'd like to get the Traffic Commission meeting started for November 30th. Members present are Frank Stringy, City Planner, Police Chief David Callahan, City Planner Nick Rystrom, myself, Paul Agenzio, Superintendent of Public Works. We're going to start off with public hearing. And there are quite a few attendees who I think are wishing to speak, but I'm not quite sure on which item you want to speak on. So I urge you not to raise your hand until we get to the situation or the topic you want to talk on. That way I'll know who to call on. All right, and the first item is hereby, notice is hereby given in accordance with provisions of Chapter 185, and is a hearing concerning the parking regulations, overnight parking regulations. And we want to amend, or it's proposed that we amend Chapter 10.34.020, Section F by adding. And there's a list of properties here. Village Court on Macoba Street, Friendly Gardens, 1129 North Shore Road, 77 Bennington, 145 Bennington, 45 Dolphin Avenue, which is Liston Towers, 188 Bellingham, 41 Highland, 120 Walnut Ave, 525 Beach, 17 Walden. Also, residents who have addresses on Revere Beach Parkway that have less than 6 units, State Road that have less than 6 units, and Winthrop Parkway that have less than 6 units. These buildings have some resident parking, some have none. So we want to consider what to do with respect to overnight sticker parking. I'd like to open up the public hearing to people that want to speak in favor of adding or allowing these residents to have resident sticker overnight parking. So I'd like to start. It looks like we have an attendee here. Elizabeth? Elizabeth?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Do you wish to speak on this topic?
Yes, please. I'm the property manager for Village Court Condominiums. I did come to your last meeting. Thank you for having me again.
Okay.
And just want to reiterate what I had expressed at the last meeting. We have limited parking here for the residents, many of which have 2 vehicles. So we are asking that you allow those residents that are registered in Revere to be able to have, a sticker in addition to the on-site parking that we have, and also resident be able to get visitor parking as well.
Okay, and I understand from your last comments that there's like 76 spots there at Village Court, and some residents, so they have one space, and some
Yes, I
residents
have
have
75 units.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And so thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Councilor Guanasso.
Mr. Chairman, the first 2 items pertain to Ward 3, and I'd like to address each of them.
Sure.
First being Village Court condominiums. I reiterate what Elizabeth has said. I honestly believe that they're deserving of this particular permit based on the fact that their units were built prior to site plan reviews. And that's before 2000, the year 2000. And I think they're deserving to have every right that the rest of this community has.
Okay.
And the same thing, Mr. Chairman, while I'm up and speaking on all the public hearings, I'll speak on just the 2, and that's the last you'll hear from me. The second one is Friendly Gardens. It's the same situation, built prior to the year 2000, prior to site plan review. And I think they're also deserving of a parking permit also. They lack space, and obviously that was the mindset that there weren't going to be individuals living and residing in a senior center that would be driving. But thankfully we have them, and they are driving, and they do have cars, and so they also have a need for a permit. So I would ask and beg that the commission please honor that and have these 2 locations receive their permits like the rest of the city. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your comments, Councilor. Councilor Novoselsky, I see you have your hand raised.
I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, and members of the commission. I know there's a new thing that we're dealing with, and I'm getting a lot of phone calls, not only about the 1 sticker, but some about no stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1 sticker issue, I still believe that we should allow the 2 per unit rather than 1, because many people, not only in my ward, around the city, have 2 cars. Mm-hmm. And I know you're trying to restrict as many cars as possible on the street. But, we're still hurting our constituents by this. And I think we ought to be reasonable and allow 2 registered vehicles to get stickers in these apartments of 6 and under anyway. And then case by case do the ones that have no parking at all. Like I have one facility on Highland Street that has 12 units and no parking at all. So, I think there has to be some leniency on it, but, I think if we opened it up to 2 units, 2 stickers per location, I think that would really alleviate problems for a lot of the people. Now, I noticed on the list you have adding 41 Highland Street to Section F, 120 Walden Ave to F, 520 Beach Street to F, and 17 Walden Street to F. Now, in checking, I see Highland Street and Walnut Street already on the F list. Not 525 Beach. And 17 Walden Street is questionable because they only have 7 units and they do have 7 parking spaces. And most of the people are singles. And I'm not too concerned about them getting no stickers at all. But let me also add that you are amending the chapter by adding all these streets. You don't show anywhere that you're taking them off Section G. So we have to consider that. Otherwise, it'll be on both lists. So we'll look at that. And we'll take one at a time. I won't go into number 2 yet.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councilor. Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm advocating for 77 Bennington Street, 145 Bennington Street, 45 Dolphin Ave, 188 Bellingham Ave. These facilities, and I would like to add the Julia Ward Howe to this list because they have no parking at all, and they're assisted living. And I would just say stickers on request. But 188 Bellingham Ave, just like Councilor Guanasso said, there's no parking on that street at all in this facility, 188. There's no parking for the apartment building, and there's no parking on the street. I know you've been down there. You can hardly get an apparatus down there because the parking's so tight. So I have, on request, I have a couple that live in one of the apartments. She was just denied by the parking traffic department a sticker, but late. So I'm asking her to get a sticker along with her husband. That's the only request I've gotten. 77 Bennington Street was built before the 1980s. They have limited parking in the back. Both of them, 145 and 77, are in between 2 train stations. And so I'm requesting, they've been parking, they have permit parking on that street for 6 years now. I'm asking them upon request, if they request it, because some of them have a parking space, some of them have 1 car. So I'm asking on request that you consider these 2 facilities. Liston Towers, another place that has no parking, there's no parking on the street either. So I'm asking on request if you would consider Liston Towers. I just lost my list. I think and if you could add the Julia Ward Howe 95 Crescent Ave, they have no parking at all. And that's
95 Crescent is the address?
Yeah, and that's assisted living. That's the Julia Ward Howe assisted living facility. And I think I only got 1 request for a parking sticker. So that's it. That's what I have.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
Councilor Keefe, you had your hand up. I don't see it any longer.
Thank you, Paul. I just, obviously I know you're going through a lot of these potential amendments, and I appreciate everyone taking the time to review them. I will be advocating for 242 Park Ave and 176 Broadway, which I think were brought forth as late. But I did want to just kind of, I guess, go back to the crux and the beginnings of this. I know that we do have some, and I'm kind of addressing this to some of the, maybe, I know there was a property manager on, and I know that there's some potential landlords on. For some of these buildings that were built recently, I can speak for the ones that have either been approved in, the time I've been around, which has only been 5 years. Some of my fellow councilors have been around longer, and some of the people on this traffic commission have been around longer. Some of these buildings, you came to us on the council or site plan or zoning board of appeals and said, you don't need parking. These homes are being built for people that don't drive. These homes are being, they're micro units, or they're small, they're trans-orient development. And then to have it kind of come around now and kind of attempting to circumvent the special permits that they were giving, that can be a bit frustrating. Now, again, like Council Novoselsky and McKenna mentioned, some of these buildings were built before that time, before really any conversation came up in regards to the amount of parking spaces. So I get that. You can't really fault the ownership or the people who built them back then. But the ones that are coming up now, we have to be able to set a hard line and say, listen, if you're not going to put the adequate parking in, you're not going to be allowed to make a workaround later on. So I think that we've done a better job clarifying that over the last few years. But I know for a fact there's a few buildings on this list that these developers knew better. And they're coming back kind of, I'm not going to, sit there and call them out specifically, but some of these developers, they knew. They built micro units, or they built very small units and very dense pieces of land, and said, we don't need parking. We're trans-orient development, and we're being built for the quote-unquote millennials that don't drive. Which, of course, now it's the complete opposite, because everyone has more cars and no one's using public transportation again, for obvious reasons. So again, I will advocate for those two buildings in my ward, and I hope to not have to come back for any more. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Counselor. I also like to welcome Chris Bright, Fire Chief, that's joined us, a member of the commission. We have several members that, several attendees that would like to speak. Michael Russo, would you like to speak on this subject?
Yes, I would.
Okay, go right ahead.
Hi. Sure. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm chiming in as a resident of 145 Bennington Street. I've lived here for coming up on 6 years now. And ever since the permit parking became a thing right just outside the building, I was able to keep my second car there. My unit is a 1-bedroom unit, and it only comes with one spot. All the spots on the property here, as you know, are owned by the individual units. And so with there being 2 cars in my household, the second vehicle has been parked on the street without issue since then. It's already hard enough for me every Friday morning, especially now that I'm not commuting to work and I'm working from home during the pandemic, that I have to kind of go out and move my car for the street sweeping during the lengthy street sweeping season. That obstacle alone once a week is trying enough. And, with the potential to have to find a place to put my car every single night would be next to impossible. So I am just, reaching out to ask, to please allow us to, as needed, request even at least just one parking sticker from the city of Revere. I actually did back in January before all this craziness began. 2 months went by, I never got the sticker. And then once the pandemic started and they weren't giving them out, I've just kind of been in limbo since then. I recently went to the parking office, waited in the line, and then I found out once I finally got to the window that this new, overnight restriction was potentially being considered. Just puts kind of a really big strain on some people who are already feeling a lot of strain right now as it is, especially, being really tied to home right now. So it's a very small strip of street that we even have as an option to park on the street there. It is a very wide street. I don't believe the parking on that street becomes an obstacle for the traffic that's coming up and down that very busy roadway. So that's my plea. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Russo.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Frank Stringy.
Yes.
I just want to make clarification regarding 145 Bennington Street. I mean, there are 60 units in that building and they have 96 off-street parking spaces. So this is a situation where parking exists, but I think the commission realizes that some people do have two vehicles, even though they allow for two vehicle parking within on the premises. There may be some people that may be stuck with just one car. I don't know if they lease these or rent these spaces out, but with 96 parking spaces and 60 units, it would be given that there's sufficient off-street parking. But this is a situation where I think the commission is going to be a little bit more, gives a little more latitude with the one sticker parking upon request. I can't see that there'd be many requests for this building since they do have 96 parking spaces. So I just wanted to put that out there. We have a number of buildings that have substantial parking that are requesting one sticker parking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stringy. We have several other, okay, Councilor McKenna?
I'm sorry, just quick. There's only like 4 houses from the train station to in the Riviera part of this on Bennington Street. So the people are not going to be taking up resident parking. You know what I'm saying? To park another car there. Across the street, you can't park because of the school and the VFW. So these people are limited to where they can park. And then right after 145 is, it begins Boston. And Boston has permit parking. So you need a permit parking sticker for Boston. So if you have a Riviera sticker, or if you don't, you're gonna get a ticket anyway. So I thank you, Frank, for bringing this up, but I really do think that we really need to give these people upon request, because I really think that a lot of people are not going to ask for a second parking sticker, but upon request, they should get it.
Thank you, Councilor. We have quite a few residents that would like to speak, so.
Yeah, I won't say another word.
No, it's okay. You certainly can if you'd like. I have Mr. John Donahue.
Hi, the person you're about to speak with has call captions turned on. They'll see captions of what you say to help them listen along.
Hello?
Okay, Mr. Donahue?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, I live at 45 McCullough Street. I'm actually on the trustee. And it would be very helpful for the people in our area if we got the parking. I had called the last time too.
Okay.
You know, we only have 77 spots for 75 units, and a lot of people have 2 cars.
Okay.
And it would be helpful for us if we could get parking stickers on the street.
Thank you very much, Mr. Donahue.
Can I ask one question though?
Sure, of course you can.
Just curious. I noticed that people with out-of-state plates, and I could be wrong, that they're getting parking tickets now around here. Is that correct?
Parking tickets or parking stickers?
No, parking tickets. I just know, or maybe they just had them from Boston when they came in. I just noticed it one morning when I was going to work. That's all.
Okay, and maybe Mr. Rose can elaborate on that.
Again, I just wanted to say that it would help us if we, in this area, if we were able to get the stickers, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, let's see, Lauren Malcolm. Would you like to speak? Hi.
Good evening. Thank you everyone for listening. And thank you, Joanne, for advocating for me and speaking for me. But I live at 188 Bellingham Ave. And my residence does not have any type of parking, and my husband does have a sticker, but I need a sticker.
Okay.
We both have 2 cars. I mean, I know before they were saying like 1-bedroom apartment can only get 1 sticker. I don't know. Well, we have 1 bedroom, husband and wife, that's how it kind of works. Okay. But
all right.
So I was just wondering, like, how is it possible that like my husband can only get a sticker? Both of us have cars. I've been trying to do the right thing. We live in a tight parking area. My building that I live in was built, I believe, in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure this 5 years ago when we moved in, this wasn't an issue. Like me, I mean, if I knew that I needed a sticker, we wouldn't have moved here.
Okay.
You know, and right now, if, you know, I can't get a sticker, then like, I don't want to move,
Right.
you know? So I'm
Okay.
just asking and pleading if I could somehow get a sticker.
Okay. I think after everyone, you know, has their say, we're going to try and be as helpful as we can. So if you want to hang around, and you'll probably like the outcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everything that all of you are doing, and best of luck, and good luck to all the madness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Rose, I saw your hand up. Would you like to speak? Jim Rose?
Yes, can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I can.
Yes, to that gentleman that lives on that Bennington Street, we were issuing a lot of warnings to get people to come in and actually get their permits, and that's probably what he may have saw down there. And a lot of these residents I've actually talked to personally, a couple of them, and I understand the predicament that they're in, and a lot of them I'm in favor of. I think 77 145 Bennington Street, and others 188 Bellingham Avenue. I understand, you know, the predicament that everybody's in, and they need a place to park. As we had talked about previously, that if we were to allow these
Hi, the
residents
person you're about to speak with has called
receive the-
captions turned on.
okay, to receive these permits, I think it might be a good idea, but I also would like to see them come in to the parking department office and apply for them basically as needed, and we'll be more than happy to help if this is approved.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rose. I have another resident that would like to speak. Nancy? Is there a Nancy?
Hi, this is Nancy.
Okay, we need your last name for our record and address.
Last name is Monkowitz, MONKIEWICZ. I live at 721 Revere Beach Parkway.
Okay.
All right, I've lived at this single family house for 40 years. I do not want to park in front of my house, which is the parkway. I've always parked on the back of my house, which is Taft Street, a one-way street, and enter my house either through the back door or the side door. So I would like to continue being able to park on Taft Street.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I noticed there's quite a few other attendees that don't have their hand raised. So I'm not able to know if you want to speak on this matter. I assume you're here for another matter. So I think all attendees that wish to speak on this have done so. I have a suggestion on this first section, this section F that everyone has just spoken about, that as a commission that we allow one sticker per residence, and that the parking director, Mr. Rose, have the discretion upon talking to these people, that he would have the discretion to issue more stickers as he deems necessary. If the cars are registered in Revere and are paying excise tax in Revere, that upon request, after review by Mr. Rose, he would have the authority to grant those stickers. Does anyone else have any comment? Any other commission members?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Stringy.
The only other amendment I'd like to make is to include 95 Crescent Ave within section F. That should have been in it to begin with.
Okay, yes, Joanne McKenna had spoken about that. We're going to add 95 Crescent and the two that Council President Keefe, 176 Broadway and 242 Park Avenue. We would add those in there. Stickers could be given out, and Mr. Rose would have the discretion on a case-by-case basis to give those out.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve section 1 as amended.
Okay.
Seconded, Chief Wright.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, hold on. Councilor McKinney, you want to? You're muted.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. I just want to, I want the people that don't know what's on the agenda to know that it says residents who have an address on Revere Beach Parkway and are
Yep.
6 units or less will get one, a parking sticker. Residents who have an address on State Road and have 6 units or less will get a parking sticker. And residents who have an address on Winthrop Parkway and have 6 units or less will get a sticker. And that goes for the Nancy. You'll get a sticker, Nancy. All you got to do is go up and ask Jim Rose and show him that you have an address and you have a single family house and that you usually get a sticker for Taft Street. So that's,
Okay.
I just want to clarify that for the audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think that'll be helpful to those residents, and Mr. Rose can certainly, at his discretion, upon proof of residency, issue those parking passes. All right, now we're going to move on to item 2. We're going to add several buildings to section G. Now, these buildings went through site plan review and have adequate parking or applied for a variance saying they did not need parking. So this is just a formality adding these addresses to section G. People in section G will not be allowed to have a parking pass. Okay, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this, adding these? I don't see anyone with their hand raised.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Ira.
Yes, Ira.
I just want to note that item B, 43 Nahant Avenue,
Yes.
is now 123 Shirley Avenue. 43 Nahant does not exist any longer.
Okay, so that's 123 Shirley.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
And they have 19 parking spaces and 30 units, and that's the Veterans Building.
Okay.
And they've only had like 7 cars down there since they opened, so I'm not concerned about that one. I think we ought to look at also adding 172 Kimball. That's the condos. There's 6 condos down there with 5 spaces. I don't know how technical we want to get with that one.
Okay. Well, depending, did they go through site plan review? Is it fairly recent?
2 years.
Oh, okay, so they should be all set. Okay, members in favor of adding these to section G?
Also, one other thing, Mr. Chairman, can we add 1540 North Shore Road? That's under construction right now. There's going to be 16 units right next to the Revere Beach T station.
Oh, and that's a commuter driven?
Yes.
But not, okay. You say that's
Mr.
15?
Chairman, Frank Stringy here. I just want to make that clarification. We have it in there as 154 Ocean Avenue. That should be 1540 North Shore Road.
Okay.
There was a typographical error. There is no 154 Ocean Avenue.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That was meant to be 1540 North Shore Road, Council.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is
Yes.
Nick Rystrom.
Go ahead.
I'd like to also mention that we should include, there's a couple other buildings on Ocean Ave, 660 and 672, which are the 2 buildings closest to Revere Street.
Yep.
And then also the old Cove site, which is 571 Revere Street.
Yep.
These are all buildings that had gone through site plan review in the last, 10 years.
Okay.
Do we want to include the new buildings on the beach and the boulevard and Ocean Avenue that are being constructed now?
So I believe those are there at the, right, I see 50 Ocean, 90 Ocean, 21 Boulevard.
Okay. And how about
I would say yes, we should add those as well.
yeah, and the MDC lot, DCR lot that's being converted now?
Yep, Mr. Chairman, also 650 Ocean Ave.
Okay.
656 Ocean, which is the DCR lot,
Okay.
And D'Amico's lot.
and D'Amico's lot, which is 646.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just as a point of information, there are also some buildings and units that were built that when they asked for through zoning board of appeals, that they put in their stipulations that they could not, for easements, that they could not have off-street parking. So I know some of those buildings may have not have been just detailed by Nick Rystrom, some smaller buildings.
Okay. Yeah, we can, this is going to be a work in progress. We'll be adding these buildings, as they're built or as we come across them. Okay, do I hear a motion to add these addresses to section G?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay, all in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, our next public hearing, amend Schedule 16 of Title 10 service zones by adding one or square and remove the parking meter at 54. Remove the parking meter number 54.
That's correct.
All in, anyone in favor?
That's mine, Mr. President,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. That is in front of Dr. Buschetti's office, and they have a lot of the seniors shuttles, the T, Pace, dropping off people in walkers and wheelchairs, and we want them to have a place to park their van, especially where we renovated Shirley Ave and did a lot of bump outs. We lost 2 spaces right in front of that location. So we talked about it, and I have support from Dr. Buschetti's office on this. That one spot be made a service zone for the buses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone wish to speak in opposition? Anyone in opposition to this? Any motion by a commission member to approve?
Motion to amend?
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 4, amend schedule. Excuse me. Amend Schedule 9 of Title 10 isolated stop signs by adding Standish Road for eastbound traffic at Curtis Road. Who would like to speak in favor of this?
Mr. Chairman, you have several attendees that want to discuss, show their support of it, so if you can call on them first.
Sure.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Pedro. Yes.
Yes, go right ahead.
I live with my wife and my son in 47 Standish Road, and I wanted to say that my son is 2 years old. When we go to Target or just for a walk, there are a lot of cars that come from the main street that has a gas station. I don't remember the name, but they come really fast, and there is not really a walkway. There are a lot of cars that are parked on the driveway, so it will be really helpful if we can kind of slow down those cars for the safety of not only children but also adults in that area.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
We have another person, David Agosian.
Yes, thank you. I'm not an abutter of the road, but I am a Ward 2 neighbor who walks that area many times a day with my small dog. And with no proper curbs and sidewalks, we have to walk in the street. And it's quite dangerous dodging cars on that street. And a stop sign would greatly enhance the safety in that area. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for your comments, David. We also have Ross.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep, this is Ross Druckenmiller. I live at 47 Standish Road, Unit 2. So we're right across the street from Curtis Road. And I agree with the other residents on the call. Without the sidewalks, it's you end up having to walk in the street, and cars do come down pretty quickly. Ultimately, I'd love to see enhanced sidewalks with curbs eventually, but I think a stop sign would be a great first step and a much less costly step to begin reducing the speed that people drive down this road. So I very much appreciate the commission considering this proposal.
Okay, thank you very much, Ross. There were no other attendees with their hands up. So is this Standish and Curtis? Is that an intersect? Is that a crossover street, or is that?
No, it's a crossover. Because Curtis is two-way.
Curtis is
coming in, two-way coming into they can take a left off of Standish, or you can come on from Curtis. You can take a left onto Standish.
Okay, but you don't cross over Standish.
It does cross over.
It does cross over.
Yeah, it's not like Garfield where it's both of our own one-ways.
Like a T section. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Any comments from the commission? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, a quick question. Is there a stop sign on the other two directions of this intersection?
There's a stop sign on Curtis coming on to southbound, coming on to Standish.
Is there, but on Standish, there is no stop sign in either direction?
No, there's no stop sign here, but it's a one-way street going eastbound.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, I did send some other proponents to Sergeant Janino regarding this, and I know the people at 48 Standish Road and 33 Standish Road, 31 Standish Road, that are proponents for this. And just let everybody know that I have requested through the police department a speed machine to be posted on one of the telephone poles coming down from Elliott Road. So hopefully that'll let people know how fast they're going and be prepared to stop at the stop sign. So I appreciate that, and any hope that Chief Callahan can get that up as quickly as possible. We'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Counselor. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'd like to offer a motion to amend, please.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. The next one, number 5, public hearing to review the parking restrictions at the former Mckinley School on Yemen Street. Anyone in favor of this? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Council President Keith? Okay. Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
Joe, we got a hand up.
Joanne?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I put a motion in probably about 8 months ago to add the parking lot for residents during snowstorms and for the restaurants for people that can't park on Broadway, just to use this parking lot at night. Because it's just it's idled. It's not being used. And so I'm definitely in favor of using this parking lot for snowstorms for the residents and for the restaurants for patrons.
I think this is referring to the road right in front of the McKinley School, that there was always no parking because of kids crossing.
Yep.
So I think Right.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's Ira.
Yes, Ira.
On behalf of Councilor Keefe, I know what he's looking at. In front of the school, there's no parking. In front of the old school, there's no parking.
Right.
From property line to property line, even including the basketball court area. And what he wants to do is open that up so it will be public parking for residents and whomever on McKinley, because there's no need for the restriction any longer.
Okay. All right. Anyone else wishing to speak on this? Do I hear a motion to approve? Do I hear a motion to
Jimmy?
approve?
Well,
We can hear you, Sergeant. Yes.
Just to clarify this here, as it stands right now, the restrictions in front of the school were removed back in 2018. The only thing on the books right now is a fire lane. Everything else has been removed.
Okay.
Fire lane on the books, it goes from the building 30 feet out.
Okay.
So we won't amend anything, it's the fire lane, that's it right now.
So we want to remove the fire lane because the.
That's the only thing we can remove. Everything else, we went over this here 2 years ago.
Okay.
And the restrictions that were put in place were removed 2 years ago.
Okay.
With the exception of the fire lane being kept there in case we worked on the building some more later on.
Okay.
So that would be, I talked to the fire chief about that, one of his deputies, to find out how they want to handle that.
Okay.
That's
So
what we have right now on the books.
So we could remove the fire lane for now. If the building, something else happens with the building, we can always put it back.
Yeah, the fire lane goes from the building 30 feet out around the building. So as far as the school, the yard and stuff like that, doesn't affect it.
Okay, thank you. So I guess.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can we ask the fire chief's opinion on removal of the fire lane?
Of course.
I would have no problem, Nick, as far as removing the fire lane and with the current use of that building. It's been sitting there for I don't know how many years now, as is. I don't know how many more years it's going to be before we actually, put that building to full usefulness. So when we can always revisit the fire lane. So I have no problem with it coming out right now. No.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Seconded.
Second. All in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Number 6, amend Schedule 8 of Title 10 by adding Brookdale Street. No parking this side. The side will be determined at the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this? Just want to remind all attendees, if you're looking to speak on something, please use the raise your hand function. There's someone with INA, a person DEL, and then 3 phone numbers. If you wish to speak on anything, please use your raise your hand function. I don't know if anyone has experience calling in on their phone. Can you access the raise your hand function from your phone? Anyone have any input on that? Let me see what's happening here. Okay, this phone number 5439. Do you wish to speak on something? Okay. Phone number 6013. Okay. Phone number 4464. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just have a question on this, on that street. Do you know if that street has actual sidewalks at all?
Yemen Street?
No, the one.
Brookdale.
Brookdale.
Mr. Chairman, I believe Brookdale, that's the former name. I believe it had since been renamed Spagnola Way.
That's correct.
So in that case, there is sidewalk on one side as you're leaving Washington Ave, on the right side of that abuts the new 770 Washington Ave development.
There
is no formal sidewalk on the opposite side.
Could I make a suggestion that parking should be on that side of the street where there's a sidewalk? So that the other side is visible also for people to walk, since there's no actual sidewalk there.
Okay.
Mr.
So we would
Chairman,
want to allow no parking on the southerly side of Brookdale. That would be against the, that little mall, that little strip mall.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Frank Stringy here. I'll leave this to Sergeant Danino, but I believe the street we're talking about is Brookline in North Revere. They were before us last time. Not Brookdale.
Brookline up in North Revere off.
Yeah, remember we had Councilor Serino speaking in favor of that?
Yes, we did.
So there may have been a typographical error here.
Yes, I believe you're correct, Mr. Stringy. So,
Motion to table that item then?
yes, okay. Let's table that item, get some clarification from Councilor Serino. Motion to table.
So moved.
Okay. Second, thank you. Number 7, amend Schedule 8 of Title 10 by adding Montfern Street, no parking anytime across from 17. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of that?
This is my ward, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So this has been an ongoing problem for the last 5 months. This resident in 17 Montfern Ave, she has difficulty getting out of her driveway. So she called 311 and got a no parking on this side across the street from her house. The thing with this, there's a problem because this house that she has the no parking sign across the street from her house has no front entrance. The front entrance is on Creek Hill. So the resident does not have a front entrance. The only entrance he has is the back entrance to get into his property where she wants to put the sign. He has 2 parking. He has an underground garage with 2 cars, but you're preventing him from parking in front of his house. So, and the other thing too is I think there's children in that house. So there's only one entrance to get in and out of that house. We have, I think, Paul, we went down and looked at it and we saw that it didn't have a front entrance. And I did tell the owner that he could get a driveway permit to put a front entrance in there. But I think there's a sewer problem. So I think the sewer is underneath his front entrance, and I think they have to move the sewer to put a front entrance in there. So I don't think he can. So this is a problem. And the other thing is, if she wants a no parking sign in front across the street from the street, then everybody on that street, which have the same problem, they have to maneuver the cars to get in and out, should get a no parking sign across the street from across the street from their property, which is gonna lead to everybody getting a no parking sign on that street. And that's gonna become an issue. So I'm not in agreement with this at all. If this man had 2 entrances, it might be a different story, but he doesn't. He has 1 entrance. And if there was ever a fire or anything, he can't get out his front door. So.
Okay, thank you, Counselor.
With it.
Anyone else wishing to speak either in favor or opposed? Okay, any comment from the commission?
How about Mr. Argento, a motion to deny?
Motion to deny. Second? Do we have a second? Second, okay. All in favor? Okay.
Aye.
The motion for a parking sign on Montfern Street has been denied.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 8, amend Schedule 11 of Title 10, handicap person parking area by adding 54 Eastern Avenue. Mr. DeChico, do you have any comment on this?
Yes. I had sent all the members of the Traffic Commission some information on this address, along with some pictures for your clarification. I just went by the local ordinances, and my assessment and determination, the applicant doesn't qualify for two reasons. As you've seen by the pictures, there's a very large handicapped accessible driveway at the location. Two, it's a renter in the location that is looking for the sign. So due to those ordinance requirements that are not followed, this application should be denied. But you have the Traffic Commission does have the final say, but there is a adequate, very large handicap accessible driveway at the location.
Thank you, Mr. DeChico. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
I'd like to make a motion to deny this application with response to Mr. DeChico's assessment.
Okay, thank you. A second?
Seconded.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 54 Eastern Avenue has been denied. Number 9, amend Schedule 11 of Title 10, handicap persons parking area by removing 10 Pierce Street. Mr. DeChico.
Mr. Chairman, this one has already been removed. We just had to go to the formality so that it did go on to the public hearing. The Department of Public Works has since removed it since the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Requests. Moving on. Amend Schedule 11 of Title 10, handicapped person parking areas by removing 115 Thornton and 221 Proctor Avenue. We'll send that to a public hearing. Mr. DeChico?
Yes, please.
Okay. Motion to move that to a public hearing.
Motion.
Okay.
Seconded.
Second, okay, all in favor? Those will
Aye.
move to a public hearing. Number 2. Okay. Amend Schedule 9 of Title 10, isolated stop signs by deleting. And there's quite a list of them here. Councilor Novoselsky.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Request to take down stop signs?
Megan, most of these are existing locations, and this was a cleanup of the ordinances, because some of them say southeast and some of them say southwest, and basically the roads are north and south and east and west.
Okay.
And some of them have wrong names at the end. So what we're doing here is removing them from the books, but correcting them on the next group by adding, and they're all it shows in the next list. 99% of them are existing locations.
Okay.
It was just cleaning up the books.
Just cleaning up the books, okay. And then in number 3 here, we're going to amend Schedule 9 of Title 10, isolated stop signs by adding. And
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. And looks like the only one that's non-existent on this is Kimball Avenue, East and West, which last month you ordered this for a public hearing, and that's one that we're adding from scratch. There are no signs in there, but every other one has an existing sign at their location.
Okay, all right, so we'll move this to a public hearing.
It already is, Mr. Oh, yes, it is. Right, you're right, Mr. Chairman. Right.
All right, anyone in favor of moving this to a public hearing? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to move to a public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay. So our next request is changes to the Central Ave Municipal parking lot. There's 2 pages of changes here, and basically concerns the fee schedule in different areas of the municipal lot that would be used for different reasons. Just to paraphrase here, the section going in from Central Avenue would have parking meters. Those are the 2 rows that face each other with a couple of handicap parking spots. The area on the right, closest to our cellar court, would become business permit areas where businesses could purchase a permit for that area. The side on Sprague Street, which has, I believe, 4 handicap parking spots, and the rest of those spots would be devoted to people using the Senior Citizen Center. And then the back area would be also used for parking meters. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of moving this to a public hearing? Or any questions about it?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
are they going to be eliminating some of the handicap spots? Because I know there was talk that we didn't need all those handicap spots there before.
Well, there was some handicap spots closest to the Senior Citizen Center. There was something like a dozen.
Right.
And
Don't
there
need
was
that
some.
many.
We didn't need that many, so we're reducing it back down to 4, which it was originally. There
Right.
was some complaints from the Senior Citizen Center that seniors that weren't handicapped didn't have any place to park. So,
correct.
Yes, we would be reducing that back down to the original 4.
Okay. Perfect.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this?
Mr. Argenzio,
Yes, go ahead, Chief.
can we just move this or push this forward to a public hearing?
Yes.
Seconded.
Second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
it's Ira. Just, I lost my internet for a second. Number 1, is that going to a public hearing?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
okay. And then,
Excuse me.
yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Hi,
go ahead.
sorry.
Is this,
I'm
phone number 6013?
Yes, it is. Sorry, I wasn't able. I have a new phone and I just wasn't able to unmute it properly the first time.
So you need to state your name and address.
Okay, my name is Margarita Randolph and I live at 1123 Revere Beach Parkway.
Okay,
So I would like to address the parking permits as where our street is located at Revere Beach Parkway, of course, so that is Route 16, so there is no parking available for us as far as on the street.
Okay.
So there's 2 buildings here, Building 1 and Building 2, and we all get 1 parking spot per unit. And as many of us do, most of us have 2 cars. So we get the 1 parking spot and then the second one we park on the street. Now my husband has a commercial vehicle for work, so we already do pay for a second parking spot because I'm sure you all know that we can't park commercial vehicles on the streets anymore. So since that changed, we've had to pay for a second parking spot. Now my car, I park on the street, and that's usually Fennel Street. Along with most of the other residents here that also have a second car, we park on Fennel Street. But I know that that's not our actual address. So, so basically I'm asking if it would be possible to be able to get a permit sticker for us to still be able to park on Fennel, because otherwise there is really nowhere else for us to be able to park our second cars.
okay. Is this the building like on Borden Street?
Yes. Yeah. Kind of like on Borden and Fennel right there.
Okay.
On the hill. Yeah. But there's 2 buildings.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, Mr. Frank Stringy, do you have a comment on that? How many, when that building was put up? And
Again, that building was built prior to site plan review. I'm not sure if a variance was issued for parking on that building. I'd have to check on that through the city clerk's office.
Okay.
But that was previously in section G.
Okay, to
Not
not
eligible.
allow
So I
any-
would have to say that they either had the required parking at the time or a variance was issued.
Okay. All right. Any other members of the commission wishing to speak on that? I suppose we could table this particular one, and Mr. Stringy, if you could do a little more research on these two buildings. So, ma'am, you're saying that you have one spot or you have two spots?
So we get one allotted spot per unit.
Okay.
That's included in our rent. And then we particularly pay for a second spot because my husband has a commercial vehicle for work, because he brings his, he takes his van to work or whatever, like a work van. And then I have a car.
Okay.
So my car is the one that parks on the street.
Okay. Are you able to get another spot from the building, or is that?
Well, of course, that would be an added cost, but also I don't even know if that would be an option anyways, because there's only so many allotted spots in the parking lot anyways.
Okay.
And it looks like they're all full.
Okay. So what's the thinking of the commission on this?
This would be a situation, even though this building is classified in section G as not eligible, we could leave it under the discretion of the parking director upon request in exceptional circumstances.
Okay, is that agreeable to the commission? That this would be left up to the discretion of Mr. Rose?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Genzio.
I understand. I'm resident, obviously.
Okay, so you can go in to see the parking director, Mr. Rose, on Broadway in the post office building and present your information to him, and he will have the discretion to issue you a permit.
Okay, and I'm sorry, the name was Mr. Rose?
Mr. Rose, yes.
And where is that?
Okay. His office is in the post office building on Broadway across from City Hall.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a quick question for my own edification. Does
Sure.
she have 3 vehicles?
3 vehicles, yes. One is a work vehicle.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, ma'am, Mr. Rose should be able to take care of you if he sees fit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other? I noticed there's a lot of attendees here, but okay. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. My name is Yolette Lowebus. I'm also a resident at 1123 River Beach Parkway.
Okay.
I was told many times I called the city hall. I was told that this building is not qualified to receive a sticker.
Okay.
I do have a parking spot because I do get a free parking, but my husband owns a car and he always parks on Fino Street.
Okay.
So, and from what I understand, there are some people in this building who have received stickers in the mail, even though we were told we're not qualified. But I've seen people with stickers who live in this building, and they said they received it in the mail without even requesting it.
Okay.
So I was wondering if I can get a sticker for my husband, but because we own two, I have 2 cars, mine and his,
Okay.
and
So-
he's not qualified.
Okay, so we'll give you the same advice we did the previous speaker. Go in to see Mr. Rose at the parking department on Broadway and present your registration, and he will have the discretion to look over your situation and issue a permit if he sees fit.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, well, I believe we've come to the end of our hearing. Just to inform the members that due to a city council motion,
I did.
that
Mr.
all our,
Genzio?
yes,
There's 2 late communications. Did you get them?
We have 2 late communications.
okay,
Councilor Keefe requested to amend that section F also by adding 176 Broadway and 242 Park Avenue.
yes, and 242 Park Ave. I thought we had covered that.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
We
Yeah,
talked
I-
about- yeah.
who
So
can I-
that's fine. We've added that in. And I don't believe I've seen the second one.
All right, we're good.
Okay, we're good. All right.
I
So just-
apologize, Mr. Genzio. We
No,
had a
no,
lot of
it's
technical
okay.
difficulties for the first half of the meeting.
So just to inform the commission, due to a city council motion, all meetings will be held at 5 o'clock from now on instead of 4, to allow for the participation of residents, that work. So our next meeting and subsequent meetings will be at 5 o'clock. Sergeant Janino, do you have a date for our next meeting? I know we got Christmas in there, so what do you think?
We got Christmas and New Year's. Let's go with the
Christmas and New Year's. What do you want to do? You suggest the last weekend, Christmas is on a Friday? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Do you want to have it the Monday previous, the Monday before it? Anyone opposed to that?
Is there a council meeting?
Oh, that's true. Ira, do you know?
We don't know yet. I don't know what.
How about the Tuesday prior to Christmas?
Chairman,
Yes,
uh,
Councilman McKenna.
are the 7th, the council, and the 14th of December. I don't know what January is, but I know the 7th and the 14th for December.
Okay. You want to have it the last Monday in December then, prior to Christmas?
Last Monday?
Last Monday?
That's the 28th.
No, well, excuse me, the Monday previous to Christmas.
21st.
21st. Is December 21st okay with everyone?
You're gonna be limited.
Eliminating the posting.
Yes, Mr. Genzio, it's going to be close on the posting, the
Any
dates.
2 weeks in a
You may
post,
want to move it to the
a week and a
28th.
half.
Okay. You want to go with the 28th then? Or do you want to go right into January? After New Year's?
I'd recommend it after the first of the year.
Okay.
I'd
How
go
about the
for the
first? Hold on, let me get my calendar.
7th,
Let's see.
the Thursday.
Last year, I don't think you had it on the December anyway.
Okay. All right, how about that? The 7th of January.
That works.
Okay, 7th of January at 5 p.m.
7th of January, 5 p.m. Sounds good.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion.